That'll be the mid DK coming SAG. I wonder how they plan to lane these heroes from Never Give Up, because they've got essentially 5 cores here. September's going to be playing the 4 Weaver, fair enough. And so they're going to run the Prophet 5, it seems like, RNG. So pretty interesting, pretty interesting. I guess it does allow you to be quite with that the global ability of the Prophet. And Weaver is essentially a global hero if you consider Sakuchi.
Yeah, it's a lot of early physical damage from RNG's lineup, right? Like you've got the NP, you've got the minus armor from the Weaver that you can expect. The key thing for RNG is they've got to get space for that Spectre. They cannot afford to have that Spectre lag behind. It needs to farm up, and we're stuck at a very weird point where Necronomicon has been nerfed, so farming tool for the Spectre, well, we'll find out what Monet will have to opt for this time with just the Necronomicon one, just not giving you as much as it did before.
No, what is he now? Or rather, the old Midas? I'm not sure. It's going to be a hard one here for Monet. Back to the Necro Bull. Not anymore for these position 1s, especially a hero like the Spectre. You don't have that added value in all the stats that it used to give you as that Spectre now, so... I mean, Midas is still kind of a thing now with the bonus XP being given, but the Spectre doesn't really care for the bonus XP.
No.
Old.
Yeah, it's all about the gold for the spec. I mean, EXP is nice if you rush your level 20, but that's always going to be a slow process. Even with the Midas, you know, it's just a very tied down to certain EXP timing, so... the Midas for the spec, not the best. And the one thing for RNG on top of the itemization for Monet is their lanes. You mentioned it, but these are very greedy heroes. A lot of them very accustomed to just getting farm prioritization as cores. So the NP Weaver duo will have to get space for the rest of these really big cores while still finding progress themselves. It's a very small map for this lineup on RNG side.
That it is. Yeah, it all pans out. SAG, of course, the run God King down to the bot lane. We'll see DD in the mid lane on the DK, and as in usual fashion with SAG, they're going to bring Felix up towards that top lane to try and get a first blood attempt going with this task. RNG, they're not going to do anything similar. They're just going to run towards their respective lanes. These level 1 tasks can allow some very, very easy first bloods to come off, especially when you have the clockwork there as well.
Felix can't capture it.
No, he can't. Try.
我是一个没有感情的刷钱机器。我是一个
really
没有
much
感
more
情
cautious in
的
this
刷钱
opening.
机
I mean, they
器。
don't force that lane up top anymore. They did split off Red Panda and SAG's end. They're just looking to secure those runes safely.
The battle begins.
Red Panda will contest there with September. Does manage to get it. Nice little steal there from Red Panda. That means a 3-for-1 in terms of SAG. September is going to cop a fair bit of harassment here out of Red Panda as well. We'll back off now, but we've seen this many times from the clockwork. He just tends to love to run at his opponents, not really caring for his own safety. He'll constantly trade his life away if it means that God King can secure a wave or two. It's really no problem for him.
That's gonna be slightly tricky, but fly around once you get some EXP on that Void Spirit. Of course, he can pump out a lot more damage. So this is something RNG can try to manipulate, and Red Panda, he's gonna try, but a bit of caution might be advised in this lane.
A mid lane DD versus Setsu. It's one of those boring ones where DD on the DK probably just won't die. Just sit there, continuously farm up, but it's just going to be a matter of who can actually get the last hits of more, I suppose, on these two heroes.
Yeah, it's it's a straightforward lane, right? Like both sides are just gonna farm up. The key timing is the Soul Ring. Beyond that, it's just really straightforward. Neither one really having enough damage or lockdown to find each other off, unless you get a support rotation.
Do you even still go for the Soul Ring though? There's really not as much value there on the item anymore with the changes.
Yeah, it's mainly just to fix the DK's mana issues in the end. Like, you want to spam that Greed Fire a lot, even with changes to the stats. You're still using the active a lot more as a DK, so I can still see the value in it if DD would opt for it, just to allow him to farm faster and consistently.
Felix gonna go over to Super, try to contest this large pool that's going on here. Felix, he will be able to do so successfully. Super still trying to go for this, but ultimately can't quite get there. Hey, punish Felix a little bit, but he can do as a Spectre. Really does no damage to the position for Tusk right now.
It's
Hopefully God will be more than comfortable to just keep farming on this Witch Doctor.
Monet's farm isn't quite the speediest. I mean, it's not too far behind from OP God, but it's most certainly not as free as the farm you're seeing on God King. So you would want to give the Spectre just a little bit more of an easier lane. There's just not much you can expect from the NP when his pull is always contested like this.
Oh, look at it go!
Oh, OP, going to Monet. Not gonna be there with that Maledict. It's gonna be a fair bit of damage coming out with the tag team now. Monet will survive it. Make him get through a lot of regen though. Super, of course, will be there to defend him on Nature's Prophet. They aren't gonna chase for the kill. Just happy with the amount of the regen they're going through.
Yeah, and again, this is just a lot of time where Monet is not free to last hit. The Spectre really just wants to build up that good start, but you're already seeing a wider gap between God King and Monet. So all this aggression from SAG definitely paying off in terms of throwing that Spectre's tempo right off.
Lane, is looking to make a bit of a dive there onto Setsu, just trying to contest that CS. Setsu's going to try and harass him out a little bit, but the armor values of the DK is just so darn high. There's absolutely no point in even trying. DD's just going to regen all that up. See Felix make a rotation on the Tusk, and he's just there to secure this power rune. He will be able to do so as well. The regen is going to be quite nice up for DD, and Setsu also committing the orb now. Can't quite get the regen even if you wanted to. And now, a Super will TP into the mid lane. So he just wanted to give that full bottle over to Setsu on the puck.
Yeah, just trying to help Setsu out. He's already a bit in terms of EXP. You've got the Soul Ring up in the ED, so all the mana in the world to just spam his spells out, and that's when it gets a bit trickier to just keep that lane even up against a DK.
Flyman's farming very well on the Void Spirit right now. He might be a real problem in that off lane later on. If he's left to farm like this, he's got 31 last hits already. It's a lot of CS here, and he should be able to set a very, very nice pace for his team. Assuming he can get a couple kills going once he's hit that level 6 or 7 mark.
Yeah, the key thing is that even though Flyman's finding that farm, he hasn't slowed down God King. So in the end, I think SAG's conditions are still being met. They're still getting the farm under PL. They're slowing down the Spectre at a spectacular pace. And even with his farm on Void Spirit, you are keeping, say, the puck follow-up in check.
Very low on that puck right now. Oh, Rocket Flare as well, Red Panda. He just snipes it. Oh, that is unfortunate. Setsu, he really wanted to play it to the max of Puck's potential, and now even September trying to soak XP in the mid lane, but Felix is going to be there, and September will die as well.
Ooh, SAG just finding everything across the map. They are making a move to OP God up top, but not enough damage to find that kill even with all these supports away. And they're just really at that point. The supports can start making these plays across the map at level 3.
That's what they're doing. Felix, he'll stick around that mid lane, has a Mango left. He definitely try to make another play onto Setsu if he sees some being used up or something like that. Setsu just very defensive now on that path, not really knowing how far he can stretch this hero anymore, not in this laning phase anyway. Especially while that DK form is there. In September, feeling like he needs to just stay behind him, make sure he remains alive.
And this is one of the downsides of this draft. It's just so greedy. I'll go up top, Monet.
Yeah, Felix gonna make the jump, but do you have enough damage yet? I mean, he's falling quite low with the snowball out as well, Monet.
Wow. You hit hard.
He might just be dead. Yeah, he is. Great trade out from SAG.
Yeah, it's really worthwhile. Like the Spectre, again, just having this slower start means that you're not going to be accelerating farm. You're going to have to dip into that jungle. So RNG, you're not going to get that spread out onto your supports. The NP and the Weaver, which play really greedy, you're not going to have a jungle to stoke in because the Spectre will eat all of that right up.
Get on.
Everything's going very well right now for SAG. It's going great. God King is still farming very, very well. In fact, he's just in the jungle right now, in his own lane. Red Panda is getting plenty of space available on the clock, and Aether Remnant gonna fly through, but it won't actually latch on. Flywin is still trying to go, but you can't really fight with that battery assault going on Red Panda. In fact, he jumped back in. That's not the play. Is Paralyzing Cast gonna come in now? They'll force the horn from Monet. Death Ward should be enough to take out Flywin and Red Panda. He will barely go down. OP God, great rotation out on the Witch Doctor, and it's just another great trade here for SAG. They may lose OP God, which would make it a bit better for RNG. September still trying to find him, does eventually get him, but Melodic is back up OP. Do you want to try and fight back? They'll fight back with Red Panda. He's going to make a dive back into this tier 1 tower to try and get the trade now. September may just tick out that Melodic. Super just going to TP up. A very unorthodox kind of buyback to commit there from Red Panda. He does help out in killing the Weaver.
Yeah, that's definitely worthwhile. Like Red Panda gets the soak up to level 6 as well. So you've got the hook shot available on this clock, and they can make a lot more plays around the map. You compare that to RNG's supports. I mean, Super stuck at 4. September stuck at 4. They're just not even close to finding those ults yet. And that does take away some of the potency these supports provide.
Super now being chased down by God King. Looks like Monet is going to help him out here up at that top lane, but even on the Spectre, there's not much you can do. Just zone him out a little bit. God King just going to continue doing what he does. Just second in net worth right now. That's only due to escalate even further. Going straight for that Diffusal Blade on the PL. Now how strong these PLs can get once that one item is up. However, mid lane, Setsu does get the Veil of Discord up now. So there is some fight potential here out of RNG, especially with this path. It's a matter of when they're going to try and make it happen though, because Setsu in terms of net worth is very, very low.
Yeah, it's not gonna be quite enough. I think they would need to maybe find one with Flywin. I think with Flywin around, that Veil just does a lot more for that Void Spirit as well. So if they want a rotation, they need that Void Spirit. And if they don't get that done, they're gonna be hard pressed to just get anything done with set 3 plus 2 supports. It's just not quite enough yet.
Dire structures are fortified. Dire's
Top lane, T1 tower, gonna go down. DD easily securing that on the DK. Bot lane, the same will try to happen, but rotations are coming in. OP God, the first one there. Flywin getting stunned up now with the Melody and the secondary bounce, and the Death Ward being committed as well. It may be enough. Felix as well jumping in with the Snowball and the Shards does get a kill, and Super does also go down.
Come back. I'll kill you again.
They're just finding all some really good pickups. They find Flywind, who really needs to set the tempo here for RNG. RNG on one hand, they do give Monet space, so the Spectre does have a little bit more breeding room up top. You do see the Radiance Rush coming out from the Spectre, so nothing in between to help Monet out and farm. And I guess there is a lack of midway items now for the Spectre.
DD caught out with the 8th Remnant down at bot lane. Flywind gonna be there with September to chase this DK down. You can't really kill him, like, he's got the bot T1 tower there as well, and DD gonna turn around with the Breathe Fire, and it's just how you gonna chase him down. While that was happening, mid lane, they end up getting Setsu on the puck.
Yeah, and they're still trying on DD, but if the rotations come back in, Red Panda's around to help out now, and well, they could try fighting.
Probably will. They're gonna jump in with the Horde coming out from the Spectre. That'll be enough. Red Panda trying to help out with the cogs, but it was not gonna be enough to help out that DK. And so now the T1 South does fall. RNG claiming it. I suppose if Monet is just continuously farming up this Radiance at this pace, it's not too big of a deal how many of his teammates are dying around him. So it's not a bad pace for that Radiance quite yet. Like, he is making gold at a decent rate.
Yeah, it's pretty solid for RNG despite these kinds of trades. Like, they're only less than a K behind. You're still seeing that great progression on Monet, great progression on Flywind. It's only really Setsu who's lagging behind a bit, and that might be an issue down the line. We have seen Pucks, as long as they get that control out in the fight, you're still going to have an impact. So it's not too bad for RNG. I think for SAG, the key thing is God King's timings are just about to be there. The Diffusal's flying out. You're going to see that Hood of the Fun soon counteracting that veil that you saw on Setsu, so you're gonna have a lot more leeway on this on the PL to just fight early if you want to, once that Hood of Defiance is up.
He does this every time as well. It's the standard God King build on these PLs. Just that much tankier and harder to deal with, and Flywind could be in a bit of danger. Hookshot gonna be there with the Melodic out from OP God. Flywind still trying to run, but the Snowball gonna connect us on top of all that, and Flywind, there's just no way to survive through the Melodic damage.
Yeah, and that was really unfortunate too. The cask, which was bouncing on the small cap, bounced up towards Flywind as well. Just way too much to deal with for that Void Spirit, and they are keeping a lid on the RNG. That does give them a bit more of a solid 1K lead. Again, not the biggest gaps just yet, but you can certainly feel SAG. They've got control in how these engagements go so far. They're the ones playing aggressive, and whenever RNG tries to do that, well, it just kind of falls flat.
The Spirit Vessel up on OP God now. So really nice timing. He's going to throw another cask out. Flywind forced to just use both his Astral Stems. But the hook shot out from Red Panda. Just on target every single time. Even if he dies here, you just took out a position 3 Void Spirit. But who cares? He's going to make the TP play. Dream Coil will have to be committed. And that's a 4-hero committal as well as the Dream Coil, and make sure they find that position 5 Clockwork.
Yeah, it's a lot to commit just for that hero, and I mean, they find a kill, but they're still not quite farming efficiently. Like, that buys space for DD down mid, that buys so much space for God King to just continue free farming, and SAG, they're not done. Around Felix and OP, they're going to contest those bounties. They do have a lot of mana in Felix, so they could try to make a snowball play if they wanted to at some point.
They may. Monet, he's going to be around, but we are going to have another pause coming out.
But that is super awkward. They don't quite see each other just yet, but there are the numbers on RNG's side here.
I mean, they might just leave Felix to just on his own. OP God, he doesn't have the Death Ward, nor does he have the Paralyzing Cask. It might be no way to really fight back.
It's a tricky one. You've got Monet's Haunt coming up as well, so it's a really good time for RNG to just force the fight out. And they have been really disciplined about that Haunt usage.
Go ahead. Felix. No, they're actually not going to see him yet. Now, no, they miss out. What should have been a fairly... himself with all those illusions. He does have Defiance up, by the way, going straight for that Aghanim Scepter next. Bot lane, that he might has broken out. Setsu in massive trouble again, does go down. September really can't fight back. He's got the time lapse, but that's all he can do. You have to try and Sakuchi his way out of this. Does get dusted up now. Snowball will follow him down. DD's gonna be there with the follow-up damage. It's such a one-sided game. And now God King, going into the mid lane onto Flywin, won't even bother chasing him down. Just lets him run away.
Yeah, I mean, they're valuable creeps to get, and God King is just slowly building up his lead right now. Felix just spamming all of his vitals, just making use of ultimate points, but you're seeing that Ags progression go really well for God King. We've seen him do this in PL, and he just plays, he's able to play a lot more on the edge with the Ags up and running, and of course he just does a lot more damage as well every time you get that rush off, although Setsu?
Yeah, probably dead again.
Oh man.
I mean, it's just the Witch Doctor clockwork consistently getting this kill onto the pump. Because SAG will not leave him alone. Well, with that, DD's just going to continue forcing down this bottom tier 1 tower, gets the Dragon Tower stun off, and Felix, yeah, he's going to have enough. Maybe underestimating how many heroes were around. Didn't realize how fast SAG could rotate. And with that, they're just going to continue dominating this map. Felix back into that mid lane now. With the help of the Dominator as well, he can snowball the creep with it. Chance, not going to connect.
It's a but man, the aggression SAG is just constantly pumping out. RNG can't even try to buy space with their other cores, like Setsu and Flywin are supposed to be setting a pace for Monet.
You really have,
and it's just not
quite
quite
the helm of the Dom or the Tusk?
It's like, look at that beefy little creep. It's with that regen on it. There you go.
Snowballs, double stun. No, he did get stunned up. Now the Warrior's Punch comes out. September, he's going to be fine anyway. The Dream Coil, Felix is going to go for the TP, and they actually don't have another stun. It's just very reliant on the Dream Coil or the Aether Remnant of Flywin. And if neither of those are available, they can't cancel TPs.
Yeah, it's something they've drafted themselves into, really. It's getting a bit difficult. Like, they're lacking control to even find the pickoffs. You take a look at SAG, they smoke up once more on Red Panda and OP God, and even DD's along for the ride.
Nay, gonna get spotted. Red Panda has the hook shot whenever he feels like it, drops the ward, but no, misses the hook shot. And that will allow Monet surely to just get out of here. Cask. Play. That'll be that. You look back at God, he's so close to having that Ags in mid lane. Setsu. Yeah, every time I look away from this man, he ends up dying. They've got an Orchid now up on the DK. I've never seen this one before.
Oh yeah, I mean, DD's had that for a while. Just able to get control even on the Weaver and super.
Flywin gonna go for the Orchid of his own off that Witch Doctor. Super will die to OP God, and Flywin does at least get the trade on the Witch Doctor, but now Felix just doing so much damage with that. Flywin just has to keep running away. He's gonna have another stun on that Centaur in a few seconds, but Flywin in the corner. And that Centaur now going to be trapped up between himself and the creep wave, so at least you get some... Well, you don't even get the gold. The creep's got it. That's a real shame.
Yeah, it really is. And SAG, I mean, they do drop the core there for support, so in the end, that's a bit of a win for RNG, but you're still going to be happy to force out these movements. You're still getting a lot of space out for God King, one part away from the Ags. And you do have the Radiance up on Monet, but that's literally just one item. You know, on the spec, that's not enough to give Monet the big presence he needs. There's still a lot more to build up on this hero before you can really expect Monet to start laying it back to SCG.
Smoke up, they're gonna try. The only person they're really seeing on the map is Red Panda and God King. They'll come the Drinkle on that mid lane PO. Horn coming in. Do they have enough? They silence him up. He's still very healthy, however. But the Aether Ember coming in, and that does secure the kill. With that, the fight really begins, but they're not backing off here on the side of SAG. They keep going. They'll get May and Super and Sensu. He's going to be forced to just orb himself out. But now the Dragon Tails start out on the Weaver. He's also dead. September does get the time lapse off. Do they have enough in time? They do. And it's like you got the position 1 on the PL. It's a great kill, don't get me wrong, but you lost 3 in return, one of your own being the POS 1 Spectre.
It's not favorable trade for RNG even if they find that PL. Just too much to sacrifice. They're going to take a lot of damage in that mid-tier 1 as well. You've got a bit more time left on this Dragon form, and the DK really just melts towers at this point. So it's a lot to throw away there for a Hail Mary, though.
Misses. DD just going to get some decent damage out on the tier 2 tower and does back off.
OP pod just with a BKB. Never going to be interrupted in that death ward, and it's just a lot now on SAG's side. They've got an 8k lead 22 minutes in. They're going to go straight to the pit, and RNG with no haunt. It's going to be tricky to get themselves safe to contest.
Definitely going to be difficult. Tag team, it's not going to take a very, very long time at all for that Roshan to just go down. So SAG, they scan it out on the side of RNG. They've got start out by scouting out with the swarm. Now Aether Ember being taken by Felix. They are starting to surround the pit. DD looking to go after the Void. They got the Orchid off on that Void and he's dead. The Flying just cannot sustain the damage in September. Also getting caught out here by Felix. They rush him. He will get the time lapse and now the 4-man Dream Coil, but there's no follow-up to it. Initiate this fight. So back into the Roshan. They might try to sneak their way in. Monet, he's trying to get there. He's in the walls of the Roshan pit, but now he's there. Hookshot out. He does not get the Aegis either. It is picked up by God King, and he is taken down by God King.
我是一个没有感情的刷钱机器。
Oh man, RNG, I mean, they tried to go in. They knew they couldn't give that off. It's just the timings are off. They didn't have haunt. They had right when they lost Monet. It's really tricky to toss themselves in there. Setsu got that massive Dream Coil, wasn't enough. They really need to stagger their initiation here. Maybe they could have gone the safer play with the NP first, sacrifice Super to get info. But when you lose out in your cores like that, when you lose Flywind really early on, you don't have that easy mobility to go in and out safely in September.
Yeah, he's been caught out again. Felix just going to chase him down. We're trying to make a run for Gucci, but he's really not as quick as you would hope. And Red Panda, he just knew. He just knows this man.
Oh man, it's slowly bleeding away for RNG. 22-7, 11k lead for SAG. Oh,
Have to be all right. It will just actually slip away.
我是一个没有感情的刷钱
And
机器。
SAG, I mean, this 11k net worth lead, they're just going to hold on to it. It's only going to get worse and worse. That Radiance on Monet not really doing much on its own. God King is going to find Monet, does get the diffusal off, and he's not necessarily going to be able to kill him. September is going to come in, but now with the Snowball coming out, with the Walrus Punch, it may be enough, and it is. Monet dies. Dream Coil out from Setsu. They're going to try and fight back, but OP God, he'll drop the Death Ward straight onto that Nature's Prophet, and well, the Silence will protect for a bit, but God King is there to finish off the kill, and they may just rush him. Setsu doesn't really have an orb yet. He does now, but the GG's been called. 25 minutes into this game, they've had enough.
RNG.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
We'll go for a couple more bans now. The Monkey King Ursa being removed and the Pangolier being removed here from RNG. I do like, at least for RNG's sake, that they got Fly on that Mars, that he does really enjoy playing quite a bit. I don't know, like whether they'll give a combination that they did run quite a lot in the previous tournament. Whatever it is, it should be effective here up against SAG. But it looks like they are going to have a bit more of a think about this banning stage now. I've seen a lot of teams do this where they stop focusing on God King and start focusing on the support duo of SAG. As usually it is them that really open up the map for God King. They'll get rid of the Shadow Demon now as well.
Dire. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Westrak now being removed from SAG as well. Just removing any kind of peel counter from the side of RNG. It's fun ban out now. Back into that reserve time for this one. It's just...
Dire team pick.
Get rid of the venom.
Team pick.
Dragon Knight.
And straight into the DK, so just ensuring that Setsu can win out that mid lane, or at least even out on SAG. They'll go for the Abaddon pick straight away.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team hit.
The now coming out as well from RNG. So that's one of the counters towards the Abaddon. Thing is, SAG don't generally care about whether this Abaddon survives or not. It really is just about the Aphotic Shield being able to purge off stuns. And SAG, we've seen this before. The mid Doom is coming out for DD, it seems.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
I'm shocked they actually ban
10
out Viper
seconds
there from
remaining.
RNG side of things. I suppose they could have
5
definitely
seconds
ran the offlane Doom and gone the
remaining.
Viper mid instead. But they won't. I am very, very sure there should be a mid Doom coming out. The Ember AM also being removed from SAG side of things now. Just getting rid of any kind of position ones they don't want to have to play against.
Radiant team pick.
Now the Storm being removed here from RNG. So they are dead set that this is a mid hero coming out from SAG. I suppose it still can be. So nothing wrong with another mid pick here.
Vengeful spirits.
Okay, maybe it's a mid Venge.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, the Queen of Pain now coming out to finish the draft off. So RNG gonna run the safe lane Mene Dragon Knight and run the mid set to Queen of Pain. SAG will find out very soon what they're planning to run. No, it is gonna be the Doom. The D takes from OP got on the pos 3 bench. Panda will take the position 5 Abaddon and pos 4 Phoenix. Fairly interesting way to finish off this draft. Game number 2 about to start. Oops. We'll get into it. Game number 2. So the side of RNG need to win this one out if they wish to continue this series to a game number 3. And SAG obviously wanting to just get a 2-0 victory if they can afford to, and definitely on the right track. See if RNG can really slow down God King this time around. I mean, I wouldn't even say that last game was necessarily on him to win. It did seem like he didn't even get to show off his farm at the end. Just, the game was already over by that point. This time around, we'll see if he actually gets to play a game long enough where you'll see a significant amount of farm on this PL.
Sure.
我是一个没有感情的刷钱机器。我是一个没有感情的刷钱机器。
30 seconds to battle.
That's the thing. I don't know if they will though. That's every time I've seen DD playing Doom, he doesn't really play a slow game. He makes it work, even if that cooldown is there on that ultimate.
The battle begins.
RNG, see, it's gonna be a 2-for-2 bounty rune trade on the side of SAG and RNG, and gonna run the offlane Rana and the offlane Mars, which is fairly standard stuff for RNG's side to go up against that PO and the Abaddon. So again, you really won't have too much kill potential as is there with the Aphonic Shield. He'll just be able to purge off the stun every single time. Every time. Of course, the mid lane, Setsu and DD going to be up against each other. Setsu probably assumed he was going to be up against the DK mid, which is definitely the matchup you would have preferred here if you are the Doom, but you won't mind going up against the clock too much either, I'm sure. Monet gonna be there with Super. OP God will be there on the Venge, and Felix on the Phoenix. The offlane Venge is something I haven't seen for a bit now, but the core can be very, very potent if you're not too careful. The damage output can be somewhat insane. OP. Yes. Red Panda gonna get speared to a tree, but the stun isn't really gonna be that long. In fact, Flywin's the one who falls low, and he does die. Red Panda gets him with the miscoil. That'll be the first blood going over to the Abaddon.
Denied.
Come closer. Pain builds character.
Mid lane seems to be going a lot better for Setsu than it was last game, at least for now.
There be more
Still just matching up with CS in comparison to DD on that Doom. DD not able to go devour a creep because it has been blocked off.
Radiant's
And we'll turn back into that mid lane. They are really focusing on making sure that DD does not have anything that he would really like in this mid lane. You do really rely on that Devour ability to be able to get something passive going for yourself.
Why are you not bowing?
Red Panda. We're into September now on that Mirana. Just gonna trade a bit of harass there with that Mirana. September probably looking to set up a kill attempt onto DD. He could land a nice arrow, but he won't have the opportunity quite yet. Of course, this Mirana leaving does really allow God King to just farm however he likes in the spot lane again. You really don't have anything to find here from Flywin apart from that God's Rebuke, but it doesn't do too much damage right now. And seeing that the Mirana's gone, Red Panda's going to return back into the lane and just start harassing the Mars out.
No.
September. Nice little bounty rune still there on that Mirana. That's only going to leave one left for SAG, and Flywin's going to be able to get the last one as well. So 4 bounty runes there for RNG. A lot of gold coming in their way. And that'll give him a slight net worth lead at 5 minutes into the game. September. Keep roaming around the map, just sniping creeps with arrow. With that Void Stone up, looks like he's just gonna go for the standard Yule's build on that Mirana. I guess he could just keep doing this over and over again as he just roams across. I try for a DD here. They do start off with the Shadow Strike. There is a TP coming in. Arrow will connect as well. A body shield is is not going to be there yet. It does come out now, but the Sonic Wave was committed, and they do have enough damage to burst down this Doom. OP God gonna get stunned up. September there with the follow-up damage. He's still perfectly fine. In fact, he wants to turn around on that Mirana, and September might actually just be dead. Felix does get him with that final auto attack coming out of the Phoenix. I'd hate to sound like a broken record, but this is still allowing the PO to just free farm. Currently sitting at 3.4k net worth.
Playtime.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top lane. Might be a big team fight breaking out. The No, they won't try. Of course, the DK would probably still be very tanky here, so they won't bother trying to make a jump onto him, but they'd love to go after Super. So I guess SAJ are more than comfortable just biding their time.
Surrender.
Well, the Dom's up on PD as well. It's a pretty interesting build to go for again. On Doom. Trouble. Arena surrounding Sonic Wave. They do climb up.
All sides. A classic mistake.
我是一个没有感情的刷钱机器。
Yeah, I'm gonna go off that dominate mid lane, but Sets won't bother trying to blink in and finish it off. In fact, Ensnare coming out now from E. Setsu does eventually get it down. In fact, no, it was just DD taking over another creep and killing the other one off. And so, almost 10 minutes into this game, SAG maybe go for a fight over these bounty runes now.
Dire's
They'll leave the bottom one
structures
alone for
occupied.
RNG to take, and Nate will force himself to the top one as well. So it'll be another 3 for 1 at least. Felix will leave the other for now, but looks like DD will probably eventually make his way up and grab it. RNG, they maintain the 1k lead.
Playtime.
Doesn't even describe it.
Yeah, he's in trouble. I'm gonna be there, he'll survive. Bring Super down as well. Arena gonna be dropped in Panda, cold feed out, he does purge that off, and they actually can't chase him down. Well, now a great swap out from OP God with the stun out on the Mars. They do Icarus dive in, but Monet shows up now on the DK. They drop it again, it is gonna get bursted down immediately by RNG, and they'll turn around onto that bench, getting the Ice Blast, securing that kill as well. Red Panda gonna be chased down now on the Abaddon. Well, the cold feed's there, and Monet is not giving up. Gets another stun off, and with the spear, it wasn't even needed. Monet secures the kill out with the breathe fire.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane. Felix. Gonna go in onto, or rather Setsu's gonna go in onto Felix, but Sonic Wave gonna be there. Setsu, he just blinks in, giving any kind of space away. Just wants kills over and over again. That will give him a 3-6 lead, and drums are up on OP God. He does pop him. They're gonna go after Red Panda. With spot out Setsu, can they cancel the TP? They can. DD was around the corner, and with that, Setsu may have gone a bit too deep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion.
Asu. Ball ain't gonna get caught out there by DH. Monet, he's gonna be there to just get some bump, I guess, on the DK. DD not gonna stick around. He'll go towards the mid lane. Arrow. Red Panda getting caught there by September, but Borrowed Time will save him. Seems as though SAG are perhaps looking to try and get a bit of chip damage on that tier 1 tower, but Setsu's just not going to allow on that Queen of Pain. There to defend that. SAG, I believe they have a Diffusal Blade coming out. Yeah, they do. God King's already got the Diffusal out. So you do have that capability now for the PL to start fighting with his team if he really wants to. Probably will just try and go after the Hood of Defiance first though, before he does bother getting involved. But he might need to. There's a smoke coming in. OP God TPing. Cold Feet, he does drop a lot, but Flyman was waiting, and now Speed does come out. But they have no follow-on to him. The egg, it was too much. He kills off the Mirana, September goes down, and now Flywood, he'll also go down. Monet trying to make a run for it on the DK, but they are just set on chasing him. And with that Diffusal, it's not going to be too hard to just purge him up. Monet being swamped down by OP God, and this DK is also dead.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tribute to my house.
They have it up pretty soon. RNG. Gotta go back to the drawing board and try to figure out something. Flying, he's just trying to get towards that Vladimir into the blink, and it does seem like he needs the blink up to really have that solid initiation on the PL. Orchid will now also come out on Setsu, so at least you have a way of locking him dead for a bit with that silence.
Yeah.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Smoke up, RNG. towards Red Panda. They get the Yules off in September. We'll have a nice easy arrow setup. Borrow time is there. Red Panda gets speared to a tree. His team is around the corner, but it looks like they're just more than happy to let him go. Just let him be. RNG. Are they able to capitalize at all? It doesn't really look like it. I don't think any too damage here. Flywood does a decent arena off. Ice Blast gonna fly in. Big trouble. Great swap out, but it doesn't matter. The Ice Blast still connected. And the Sonic Wave out from Setsu is more than enough, but now God King, he wants to try and fight this. They do have egg available, but I don't think they can actually afford to fight, or maybe they can. God King is still in trouble, however. He will topple. Now the silence on that Phoenix, so he can't get the egg off. Setsu barely able to blink away in time before his mana does run out. And with that Moonlight Shadow, September trying to get himself out. Everyone from RNG is out of there safely. Scepter will be on Manati very, very soon. Seems like if he keeps this farm up on that DK, it'll be a real concern here for SAG. They're just trying to continuously force in that tier 1 mid tower, but it really hasn't worked out quite yet. Red Panda has a DT up on the Abaddon, so maybe this time could be quite successful. Media Hammer flying in from the Phoenix. Call's gonna land, and well, this tier 1 does seem to be dead. Nice deny out though from Setsu on that quad.
Yeah.
In September, getting doomed up. DD just not. Well, they can't actually chase him. He just ran away. And they didn't really have the initiation this time around for Red Panda. He's not playing the clockwork. And so, that's just kind of a Doom being expended for nothing. And RNG, seeing that Doom being wasted, may just go for a pick-off here down that bot lane. They did spot out Felix and the Phoenix, but he's going to be alright. He'll walk out of range. RNG, take over the jungle.
The prize is mine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That they are. It's going to be very easy to throw shots that are first for Vernon.
Vanish.
Ice Blast gonna fly through. My Shadow was popped as well, but that Ice Blast is gonna be there. They are gonna make it in time. This could be really, really bad for SAG as that arena does drop and does connect onto 3 heroes. The Flywood is falling way too. Setsu does get a great Sonic Wave off, but they don't seem to win this team fight. Monet is trying to fight back up against Red Panda. He may secure the Abaddon kill, but now God King on top of him drains all his mana, and he will go down as well. In fact, Monet, rather, Super is also dead on the AA. They do get OP God as a trade, but now September will also be chased down by God King.
Killing spree.
Get the lance off, but September's gone. It's Setsu still trying to fight this as the Queen of Pain. but she can't put alone.
Fallen to the Radiant. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Setsu's going to try and go down to the bot lane onto DD. We're going to help his cause, but BKB is committed, and now Doom. Oh, the Lincoln's out from Setsu. Very, very nice play from the Quap. Wasting the Doom as well. And I believe that was a 10-second charge. No, it was a 9-second charge in that Doom that was expended. OP, sticking around and taking a chance off with that Shadow Blade and Link the T2 himself. They're going to have plenty of damage to take him out. King going to try and fight back now, going after Setsu, but no. He'll blink away, so instead we'll go after Monet on the DK. And Monet is not going to be able to fight back. In fact, Red Panda is still on the chase there for Setsu on the Quap. Setsu still is able to bring out. Super has been left behind on the AA, and that should be another easy kill here. But then to clean up. Give it to the Ice Blast, arrow will fly through. It won't matter. So they get one trade again as SAG.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Jump in, Flywind trying to do something here, but he's out of mana. Setsu just forced to blink out. He can't afford to try and fight this PO right now. And items are flying out real quick for God King. Aghanim Scepter, Yamcha already brought up from the courier. Going straight into that match style next. Dukes out the Ice Blast.
Bottom tower is under attack.
This guy just farms way too quick. It's actually unbelievable how much farm he can find on the map.
Unstoppable!
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now that was the decision they had to make. Was it the tier 2 was a DD on the Doom, and they decided DD was the only option. So God King now smoking up with the rest of the team, gonna start running towards the side of RNG.
Let thy healing begin.
They get a courier there from Red Panda. It's gonna feel a bit nice.
Delayed out from SG. 2 minutes without that mech.
They are gonna run into Super perhaps, and they do. Super just commits everything he has. That will force out the egg usage from the Phoenix. And AA is gonna die.
Is under attack.
RNG just trying to buy more space here. Monet has fallen decently behind the PL and farm. With that eggs up, it just doesn't seem to be enough right now to really get anything done.
Yeah, it's
Tower is under attack.
it's lagging behind, and he needs to hit level 18 just to get the level 4 dragon form. I believe right now he just gets the blue dragon with the Ags, so he's not quite at that point for the black dragon just yet. That is costing him. He's fallen behind that EXP progression severely. Oh, September?
Got to do him off on September, and they give him the tip as well.
Oh no. It's difficult. RNG, I mean, that is a big spell expended by DD. So RNG should be aware that could be a bit of an open play around without worrying about the
He
Doom.
doesn't care though. He really doesn't care if that Doom is down. He'll commit it every time he sees a hero. SAG, they're just gonna start rushing with the smoke. Into that triangle, and oh, RNG, here's their opening without that Doom. They're not really gonna be able to capitalize at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but they're just going to lose their objectives. Mid tier 2 going to be taken. They don't have the numbers without Mirana, and they just don't feel confident. They're just slowly leading away their last objective on the map.
There's the Aegis expiring now onto God King. He doesn't have it anymore. I believe his Manta is on the way, and it is. So Manta now up, going up after that Satanic next. The RNG. You can already see Setsu trying to set up against that PL, going from Maelstrom into the Mjolnir, but it's going to take a bit of time. He did decide to go for the Hyperstone first to try and have that pick-off potential. God King just going to rush him. He will blink the other way. They know he's there though. He does TP and will make it out. OP got not in range to get a swap off.
It's a little bit of a great pick-off to find. Just don't have control on the PL with this kind of build. He is opting for the Linken's instead on God King's end, so just doesn't want to worry about all of that silence coming out onto him. He just wants to be able to give himself a lot more of an edge, and you can't really blame him. Just defensive items all around for the PL. He's only died once, so it has been paying off for God King.
OP God gonna go down towards that bot lane. Setsu might ignore Setsu. Oh, God King will force the blink out, but they found him. They have Setsu. He doesn't call out. Sonic Wave though, a great swap out from OP God, but it's not gonna be enough. He tried to save him from the Sonic Wave. Ultimately, it did allow him to blink out of there.
Who spoiled that shot?
SCG. I don't think they're really upset about this though. Like, they're still just. I mean, the net worth graph doesn't really say much. It's a very, very even game, but they getting what they want. They're getting their PL farm. I don't really mind the heroes being low in net worth.
It's still their game to really dictate around. Again, they've got all the objectives off the map. They've forced RNG to one side of the map as well. They've limited the pace RNG can farm up. You still see some items flying out, like Munir finally has level 18. So that is the Black Dragon form coming out now with the Ags, and let's have a BKB. So the DK has a bit more presence here in these fights.
Gonna run straight into the Moonlight Shadowed RNG side. Who are they gonna jump on first? They love God King, but no, they want Red Panda. And they will start him up. Borrowed time gonna be there. They use some through that, and Marina being dropped straight onto OP. God with the Ice Blast flying through. It's a lot of damage. OP should die. God King, he cannot afford to fight this, but he has been stunned up. Sunray flying through as well. Egg, not quite yet, but there it is. With the Doom being thrown out on the DK. They'll burst down the Egg. And now, well, DD, he really doesn't want to be here on this Doom. Last Ghost Scepter out from Super will save him from the PL, but no, he eventually comes down to God King. Apparently just going to fight on his own. DD, in fact, is still around there. Monet, falling low. Setsu comes back in. God King had to control this man. They do finally get him. Setsu does eventually kill him off. But he managed to get 3 in response to the 4 that were already dead on the side of SAG before he went down.
Yeah, it takes a lot more effort from RNG to clean up that fight, and that was a favorable fight from RNG. Like, they were the ones who started it, they're the ones who got the proper initiation, and they still don't win cleanly, so there are still issues to fix up there, but they do build up a 4K lead on their end now, so they've got a bit more net worth flowing in. Still, you look at God King, he changed up his itemization. He's rushing that Abyssal now, and OP God.
Holy shit!
It's a lot of damage. Ice Blast even flying through, but that just wasn't even anywhere near necessary. Setsu's just hitting like a truck with that Mjolnir up.
Yeah,
So they're in control now, RNG. They've got a 6k net worth lead, they're looking great. A game to lose. Just a matter of whether they can actually start taking objectives. We're 30 minutes in now. They are still yet to take a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it's leaving them a bit high and dry in terms of just how far they can actually distribute that farm and the rest of their heroes. A lot of this is really just on Setsu still. They smoke up. They're gonna hit another spike once Setsu hits 25. So if they keep that aggression up and hit that point, the Queen of Pain's control does get a bit ridiculous.
Mid lane, they might just start onto Red Panda, and they do. Borrowed Time is going to be activated. Arrow not connecting either. Flywood jumping in. Here comes the Spirit up on the tree line. Now the us with the arena. Got a lot of damage out. And SAG, they grouped up for it. They burst down the egg as well. And everyone from SAG needs to leave the building. They're looking very scary right now. Monet going for another Dragon Tail and the Spear and the Arrow all onto God King. They swap him out, however. He's surviving through all the damage they have. Now with the Sun Ray coming in and the Icarus Dive, they're going to try and turn this. God King on Flywind. He's holding the shield up, but it doesn't look to help too much longer. But perhaps, maybe it allows God King to die. No, Doppel is there. Still making a run for it. Still alive, but eventually does die to Setsu. Now DD should also go down, and he does. Ice Blast the fly through, no P-God dies.
Ooh, it's a lot of things going wrong for SAG. Their high ground now under siege with Monet's Dragon form up. Of course, it's a lot quicker, even without it. Setsu right-clicks way too much. Gonna lose their first set of racks, going the way of RNG. They were the team to lose out on all their outer towers first, but with the small slip-ups SAG's been giving them, it's enough for RNG to turn it around.
So what do they do now, SAG? I mean, they're one racks behind. What's the game plan?
They've got to calm down a bit. They need additional control, especially on Setsu. The biggest issue is that Setsu's allowed to just blink around, be highly disruptive. The Lincoln Sphere and BKB just allowing Setsu to really get too much done. So work on that Abyssal to get the jump on him. Still, I mean, that's an Aegis and Cheese going away with RNG. Even if you do get it done, you're gonna have to contend with 2 lives here.
Bloodthorn even coming out now, and Setsu's going to be attacking that much faster with that that Hyperstone change that we saw with the recent patch. OP God has had a struggle with this game on the past 3 event. He hasn't really had that as much impact as you would hope out of the position 3. There's that Bloodthorn.
I think the big thing for SAG is they're not able to maximize their swap range because it's stuck at level 2.
It's the Dumont. He caught Setsu on that Queen of Pain. That's the one they want. With that Doom, she has nowhere to go. Go after the egg, which was submitted, and it's bursting down quick. Still, Agent's now going down on that Quant, but they're going to chase down DD and try and punish him for this. He's trying to juke them out the best he can. He's walking rather quickly. Arrow not going to land from September, but they have him surrounded. He goes invis again. Sent forward place. He will run out of range, but then you get the heals off, and now the speed back into the. DD does go down.
It takes a lot of effort to find that Aegis, but in the end, SAG, now they don't have to contend with 2 lives on Setsu. Simplifies the issues. They just need to apply that control. If they can do it once more in their defense, then they do take away the biggest ace in the hole RNG has. It has been riding a lot on that Queen of Pain. So just get the control onto Setsu. You don't have to worry about 2 lives here. And if you do that, you can turn the tide of that fight. Just can't afford to bleed out heroes 1 by 1.
Well, trying to make the push now, RNG. And find that T3 tower very, very fast. We'll get the glyph out. Onto the T3 again with Monet in that little dragon form.
Has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
And it's really just an easier axe to take. I mean, they've still got a T2 tower up top, but they could potentially look at trying to force a fight. They will not. Oh, Clumsy Net gonna be there on the Mirana September. Hey, gets a Dragon Tail off a Red Panda. He pops the Borrowed Time. Ice Blast, not for that. They still haven't stunned up and they kill him off. Dying a lot faster than they would expect. The OP now with the swamp on that swamp with the Mim as well. Arena's gonna be great though. Egg gonna get blown up immediately. They do take down Setsu, however. Continuing this fight, he's way too low. He does die, and that's GG. SAG, they've had enough, and RNG, they force it to a game number 3.
Yeah, they find the answers in their draft. They managed to match the pick place SAG, force them to play a bit slower than they'd like. And even with all the farm and God King, the moment they slept up, RNG had the heroes to bounce back in there. So
till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Sleep till I come home. Dream of something sweet. I will be there soon to wake you so discreet. Sleep till I come home. Dream of something sweet.
On that quap, but RNG, you have to find something else for the man. Now, I imagine they'll probably just focus on Flywind's hero, and if they want to just run that Flywind Mars, it is still there.
Yeah, it's something we've seen RNG fall back to multiple times. It's a solid base to build their core around, to build their draft around. Wouldn't blame them for just jump back into that hero. Of course, you have to worry about the Shadow Demon, because he can save people who've been speared up. So that's something to always be wary about for RNG if we do decide to go for that Mars route.
Dire team.
There are...
Void
Oh, they're going to go for the Void Spirit, and I kind of wonder if we can blame that already. SAG, they put the PL away for now. They go back to that tried and tested Terrorblade that everyone loves watching from this SAG side. And well, RNG, they must have known this was coming. I wonder how they intend to deal with
10
it.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is a really strong pump pick for SAG. Of course, there are a couple of things RNG can try to manipulate. You force fight while Metamorphosis is down is one thing. Although we have seen SAG, you mentioned it multiple times, but
Intend to deal with
10
it.
seconds remaining.
yeah, this is
mind it, they go into the Morphling pickup.
Yeah, it's one way of dealing with the Terrorblade, right? You morph into the TV, steal that metamorphosis yourself, and suddenly you're a bit of a bigger hero than he is with the right itemization. So I'm liking the response from RNG, as like they are willing to play that pace up against SAG. They just need to ensure Monet has that great start he's looking for, because we've seen Morphling start to struggle behind if they do get slow lane. So that's something RNG has to secure in this game.
But it's one way to get through the Terrorblade, right? Like if you go for the shotgun build here, you could just ignore all the armor of the Terrorblade and just, you know, use that Ethereal Blade and just use that Adaptive Strike and shotgun him down. Of course, that does kind of go off the Void Spirit as well. You've got so much magic damage from that Void Spirit. All that being amplified from the Ethereal Blade will really help in trying to ensure they can actually kill off God King on this Terrorblade.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot trickier for God King to find that pace in here. Just gotta be careful with how far forward he goes once those items do start popping out from RNG. You see the last Dan out on the Mars, so just ensuring that Flywin won't get that opportunity to pick up that here he's fond of playing. And see what RNG does opt to give him this game if they do want to get a little bit more team fight after, a little bit more control to counter what SAG has.
RNG. Final pickup now. Reserve time. Plenty of it left for them. And there is plenty as well for SAG. They're looking for that offlane hero unless they're planning to run the Void Spirit offlane. Though no, the Night Stalker does come out. Still a very flexible pick as to where you're going to run it, but more than likely it will be Fly when playing it in the offlane. I love the aggression here from RNG. They're not planning to back off. They're again just going with this kind of crazy fight-orientated draft that runs at you. SAG, though, they look prepared for this. As it stands, they just need an offlane of their own, unless the Pango's going to take that position 3 role, and perhaps they give something else to the position 5 or 4 here for SAG.
Still pretty flexible for them to close out their draft. I think the Night Stalker's still really strong here for RNG. Going into it, you've got to deal with the Terrorblade. You've got that timing at night just to play that faster pace, buy space for the Morphling, and get more value from your Grimstroke once Soul binds out with the spells the Night Stalker has as well. So it is shaping up. It's shaped up quite nicely for RNG to close out. They still have a decision to make whether or not the Night Stalker will end up going off. I guess we'll find out from SAG's last pick if RNG's forced to shuffle those lanes around. But SAG as well, you mentioned it, but they've got that flexibility with a Pango Puck. So they've got to reveal their hand down their last pick, and again, we're looking for something to give them solid pacing, maybe something to eat through the morph. Would want to take care of that here early on before it can really be an issue with that shotgun on the Terrorblade that will eat through that low HP hero.
SAG. Real long think about this last pickup. Yeah, they don't want to, I'm sure, but if they wanted to go back into the, I was going to say the Viper, because they do seem to love running that when they're kind of unsure about what else to play. Wouldn't be the greatest in the offlane, though. It's just a matter of how they want to run this Pangolier. Like, do you want to really give it that core position up against the Grimstroke, who can just cancel off the Rolling Thunder anytime it wants?
Yeah, it's a tricky proposition for just how far you can push that Pango. They do close out with a Bristle, so that does look to be our offlane, and yeah, no, it's a DD down mid. It's a support puck from Felix. Again, just a bit of a shake-up there. It'll be interesting to see how much OP can pull out, and of course, DD down mid on Bristle. Just how much he can really trade with Setsu. It's a stranger timing from SAG, right? Like, you can play aggressive if you want. You are relying on the Bristleback to find that early farm to build up into maybe a Vanguard, into a Crimson Guard, or what have you. Really just be durable in the front, force the responses out from RNG. Look to SAG to try to slow that morph down, but RNG as well. They don't want God King to have a free lane, and Flywin on the off lane is going to make that a bit trickier for him to farm in.
That it will. to wait and see how this one pans out. RNG, they of course understand it's going to be very, very important to shut down the jungle of SAG. That will be the main focus of trying to slow down this Terrorblade. They don't really have those really great tower pushes in their draft, in all honesty, though. So they may struggle in taking objective tier, which could buy enough time for SAG to really just get that farm that they need before they get aggressive. Yeah, that's really the only concern I have for RNG. Like, you need to take towers to get jungle control, and if you don't have towers, you can invade the jungle just fine, but you can't really stick around there.
Yeah, we've RNG themselves have managed to kind of counteract losing all their outer towers first, so there is an opportunity for them, if you play your cards right, to still overcome those kinds of disadvantages, and see whether or not that will be the case here in game number 3, as you know, both teams would like to close out this day with a solid win on their end.
I'm sure they would. SAG, so they might try to make an early play onto the Morphling. Monet, of course, morph at Agi. Has to be slightly careful about his positioning right now, as they'll know he's morphing Agi. They'll know he'll be very low in HP.
30 seconds to battle.
Panda. Up at that mid lane, try and suss out whether he can find a ward there. No tower aggro means no ward. Panda will head off, but you've already got Super still sticking around just in case he spots out them placing a ward. You should see Red Panda doesn't really have the Ops ward, so it's fairly obvious where he's put it. And he's going to be able to clean one up pretty easily. Nice play from Super.
It's a nice gold boost from him. You do see pretty decent bounties as well, so a lot less of an explosive start. Looking to secure those early kills, although Red Panda's probably caught a couple of hits here, but he does have Shadow Poison to trade with.
Super. It's going to be a little careful. Even if these earlier levels, those Shadow Poison stacks can hurt quite a lot. Super, he wanted to go for the D ward straight away, or rather Red Panda wanted to go for the D ward straight away, and does get it. I love the fact that they have this Bristle hit, because it seems to make it almost impossible for Setsu in this lane to really feel safe at any moment.
Yeah, it's tricky for the Void Sphere to really apply that pressure he wants. I mean, there is some durability resonant pulse to force you. You can't spam the confidence the Bristleback spams that Quilt Spray, so Setsu already dropping very low. Might have to pop that sub soon.
Oh, he's gonna go and crit skip. Already. Alright, I mean, that's fair to do it, right? Even with the aggro changes, as long as you're near a tower, you can get this pull. So DD is just gonna go around in a circle and double stack the wave. It's actually quite clever from him. He's gonna get another, have a double stack going for himself now. So that'll. Oh, he's actually lost one though. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're back now, but no, he's salve cancelled. Setsu gets the kill.
The Void Cascade commences.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a shame for DD. I think he forgot that those creeps only act within 1,500 range of the tier 1, so he doesn't quite find a stack, but it is still a fairly pushed-in wave. Still make use of that here.
I definitely didn't want to die like that though. He lost that salve as well. Setsu going to be feeling a lot better about himself in this lane now, knowing that DD's already died once. However, he almost loses his courier. May still lose it and does. Cool sprays out from DD. But Setsu, he does get his bottle up. I don't think he's going to be too upset about losing the courier as long as he has that bottle there.
Yeah, it affords him a lot more regen in the lane along with that stick, so he is going to be able to trade DD just a bit better. And again, early kill cost DD just a bit in terms of controlling that lane. It does kind of force the other lanes stay pretty stagnant as well. Like, you're not seeing any rotations out RNG to try to salvage that mid lane, which means that you are keeping any movements out in check. Like, Flywind still having a decent time up top. You're seeing God King keeps farming up on par with the Night Stalker, so you're still getting that space on the Terrorblade at the very least.
That is true. God King is having a good old time. Flywind won't really be able to apply too much pressure, it seems, until that nighttime hits. But trying his best with the Stroke of Fate, but God King just gonna pop that meta and secure some very, very safe farm on that Terrorblade now. It's the bot lane as well. OP God up against Monet on that Morphling. Felix will be there as the position for Puck. There will also be the Pos 5 Vengeful Spirit there from Super.
Dire's middle tower is under
It's been a bit slower for Monet. The last hit's not quite piling in as fast as it would for God King, but we've seen this multiple times. SAG just makes that opposing safe lane a lot harder in game, and Monet is not hitting that fast pace, but it's a complete shutout. He's still at least catching OP God's form here.
DD gonna be able to get that illusion room hit. No, Setsu is gonna race him for it every single time. He's just gonna play around with Setsu's heart, and Setsu, luckily for him, had the Resonant Pulse going, so that shield blocking out all that tier 1 damage. With that Soul Ring now coming out on this Bristleback, it could make it a little harder for Setsu to maintain this mid lane. He's even bringing out a few clarities and a salve for himself to really get himself set up, and bounty being played it's now onto Red Panda.
Yeah, just trying to set the pace here for RNG, give them some motivation to find some kills. Still, it's been fairly static lanes on both sides. Like, you do see maybe September dropping by mid for a couple of minutes, but not really amounting to too much. It will just secure runes, and looks like RNG has secured that bot set rune.
They have. Demba gonna take one, and we'll see. There is an attempt there for Felix to get the other, but was not successful. Red Panda does manage to take one up at the top lane, but Flywind is going to punish him for it. And that still will be a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties. Fly will make his way back down towards his own triangle, and maybe get that bounty a little later on though. Setsu is actually just diving DD through his own jungle. He doesn't have any more astral steps, so he has to be a little bit wary of how much damage he takes. He'll be alright, he'll walk out of there. Setsu's really trying to give it over to DD though. He's just not giving him any space in this Bristle, and this Bristleback really doesn't have that much farm.
Yeah, I love seeing this from RNG. Just, we've seen this happen before when the Bristleback gets slowed down by an extreme amount. They just don't manage to find that impact. If their Vanguard's delayed, their Defiance delayed, and well, this is not quite a complete shutout yet, but DD's progression is substantially stalled out compared to what you'd want from a really good Bristleback game.
What the game plan was here from this mid Bristle? What was the idea behind it? Obviously you dominate the mid lane against the Void Spirit, but after that, the idea was just to snowball with that Bristle and leave God King alone. Speaking of God King, interesting build. He goes for the drums and disassembles it. No,
it's an interesting pickup for God King. It allows him to run a bit faster as long as the charges are up, and gives him an option to fight well though.
Red Panda, he's not gonna be in trouble. Flywind's still thinking about diving, but Felix is there now on the Pos 4 puck. Flywind's still wanting to go for this. Red Panda trying to survive the best he can. That tier 1 tower whacking away, but Flywind does get the bounty and does get the kill. He's just got to try and make his way out of this now. In fact, Setsu joins in on that Void Spirit, also getting Felix.
tower is under attack.
Again, that entire fight was happening while Flywind had his boot in the backpack, so he wasn't trading as efficiently as he could have. He still find the kills, and you see RNG pull away with a 2k lead. This is going to be an issue for SAG. You already have God King in that jungle. Need to find a way finding DD his own farm as well, and I mean, OP God's lane is also kind of forfeit. He's dipped into that jungle as well. RNG, they're coming out of this laning phase finding everything they could possibly ask for all of their cores.
That they are. 3k net worth lead. It's going to be feeling quite nice here for RNG. And the God King, he's been forced to just go into that than he would usually like to. He'll get to farming. But RNG not looking to slow down. Setsu, where are we TPing to? Down back to the mid lane where he does go for the DD rune up at the top rune spot. With that DD, he could definitely try to look for another play to make across the map. We see our second drums for today as well. Flyone picks one up now, the Night Stalker. And well, really a question after this patch of whether these drums was going to be popular. Turns out for now, at least in this game it is. So opting to get one for themselves.
Yeah, it's a lot of value. It's just gives you a lot more opening to be aggressive. Let's pop that active, you can really bring into the fights or into the objective. So it's a great tempo set item, and it makes a bit more sense on the Night Stalker, I have to compare it to the Terrorblade, but as long as God King to use that for farm, I guess it doesn't really hurt. At RNG, they lit onto the into tier 1 node from SAG. So a nice simple objective going away for RNG.
They might actually try to make a play SAG. No, they can't really do anything right now. They're just behind. They'll TP in their Bristle again, but well, DD still isn't really at that point he'd like to be to get aggressive. He's going for a Vanguard build. Super gonna be chased down now. DD should be able to secure this kill onto the Venge. There is gonna be the Night Stalker ult being popped, however, and whoa, what a nice save out for the Setsu. Will end up meaning the Super is dead anyway, though. The Shadow Poison does tick him out. Now Flyone, but he popped the Nighttime, but he's not able to do anything with it. Instead, he's going to make his way back down to the bot lane.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste. Their SAG, they still hold on to that Rolling Thunder if they want to play aggressive themselves. They've got a slight opening here. They could just find the proper target to get control onto.
They could. But now it just seems that they just need to pick up some levels and farm. Like Felix is still sitting at level 5 on that. Look at Benane, he's at level 8 already on this ball fling. He's going straight into the Lycan Spirit as well. It's just really great how RNG bought so much space here for their own cause. And Setsu with this much farm on the Void Spirit, he's almost guaranteed to have a good game. Like right now, anyone on the map just dies to him.
Yeah, I'd say he's already having a fantastic game. 2-0, just taking complete control from the mid. Already found that tier 1 is off. He's constantly forcing like 3 heroes in his lane. Red Panda and Felix just have to hang around here to try to find something from these creeps. It means they're really not helping out on the others. It's OP God just left by himself. Again, God King is just left in that jungle. So, they're not finding too many openings to SAG, although they do pump up bot now. They've got 3 heroes down here.
But they do. Can they apply the pressure and get that tier 1 tower? Not easy. You don't really have a push style lineup here from SAG to get this kind of tower down, but they do spot out Flyone down to that bot lane. He'll pop the Crickling Fear, and now just going straight after that Pango, the Rolling Thunder is going to come out. And now they should have plenty of control here onto Flyone, but do they have the damage output? Felix has the Sonic, rather has the ulti on the puck, but can't quite get it off because of the silence. And now OP God gonna go down. And they keep going. There's that Dream Core coming out now from Felix and the swamp in from Super onto that Bristleback DD, falling very, very low and probably will also die. He goes back in after the vent, trying to get the last cool spray off, but it is not good enough. He will also go down.
And they also drag Monet into that fight, so he does find some of that AoE gold as well from helping out. And this is a really early aggressive move from Monet. It does pay off, and this is buying space for God King. It continues to give their Terrorblade free farm. Question just how much more they need. Even Flyone starting to lay onto him, but DD will ensure that God King gets to just run away for free.
What is Yasha up now on that Terrorblade? Going into that man build again. Fairly standard start for the TB. Much more standard than his usual builds. Like usually we'd see him go straight into the Sanjin Yasha first. Then again, those items were kind of nerfed in this recent patch anyway, so he may not feel it necessary.
Yeah. It's a lot trickier for him to go for those aggressive builds, mainly because he can't afford to play too forward here. I mean, he's joining in for the push. That's because he has a little bit of that lead left. And you know that RNG probably won't try to commit. The fort is there, though. There is a smoke from RNG in the back.
It's gonna take him a while to get there. They have the Orca up on Setsu, and that's the real reason why they're smoked up.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, we can range that sentry bot there. The jump in starts. He doesn't get on the Pangolian. He's definitely gone. Ogon dies. Now we'll see the Bristol still going. Dream call out from Felix. They are going to be able to get one. Setsu dodging out the Dream Caller himself. So 1-for-1 trade, but it's a call for a support, and it definitely favors RNG again.
Yeah, they find a better end of that. And you do still get that tier 1 bot from SAG's end, so they got a bonus tower for themselves, but they already lost their top. So kind of just a delayed trade for them. And RNG, they get some space out for Mene. He is very close to that Lincoln Sphere on the Morphling, and once that hook, you should be free to fight early.
Just jumps in mid again. DD gonna be in trouble. No, they'll go after the Shadow Demon instead, and Red Panda is gonna die. They didn't quite get the Bristle back they wanted. DD with that Vanguard just proving to be a little bit tanky right now, but they still maintain such control of this game. And you look at God King, he's in the mid lane, not really farming right now, which is very unusual for him. But he clearly feels very uncomfortable up against this draft that RNG's running. Flywind, even reminding him just in that last second that they're always watching. RNG, I mean, if they can keep this up, the series looks to be theirs.
Yeah, they have applied a lot of good pressure so far. And this is a playstyle we can see SAG pulling out. Just having gotten so active early on, sacrificing that farm, it is costing him, and it is fairly low. Probably doesn't want to cop hits from September.
Swapped up, Flywind slowing him down. Mene is coming in as well for that added damage. He's still looking very tanky, however. Can they actually take him down? They can, but there's a 3-man Dream Coil there. No follow-up to it though. They just threw it out just to make sure they couldn't chase any further.
And it's the cost of these small trades, because DD's supposed to be that tanky frontliner and just not able to contend with the full burnt of RNG once they do get that focus on. So RNG continuously building up 4K advantage now. Lincoln Sphere up and running. Monet going straight for the shotgun. It is going to be at it early, and it should coincide with the timing of God King's Manta, or at least the Manta should be up first. So there's some dodge capability there. You have to wonder if the Morphin can find a proper target. It's a really easy pickoff.
They're surrounding. Psalm's going to be out onto DD. Felix getting spotted out as well. They do throw in the stun, and he's going to die. And again, indeed, he's just kind of left ignored here on that Bristleback, but they don't really care for it. If they keep getting everyone around the Bristleback, then the Bristleback can't do his job anyway.
Yeah, it's really detracting from what SCG wants to get done with distracting the
Gonna be out, Flywind scouting out, doesn't get Red Panda there on that Shadow Demon, and Flywind on this Night Stalker doing just so much work. Now they'll go after DD. Do they have the damage output? Probably not quite yet. They are forcing Felix to TP back in. Cripplin G gonna be there, and they have plenty of damage to burst him down. OP, he's also been scouted out here from Flywind. Can't quite finish him off, but with a 6k net worth lead and that tier 2 tower under attack now, they are more than happy.
Oh yeah, they're going to be able to secure that objective. SAG, they've run out of options to really defend. And at least they can...
Got God King down to the bot lane, but doesn't have any help. God King, he's actually going to get a tier 2 tower trade.
Yeah, they find the deny at top as well, so it's a favorable trade for SAG. It is paying off. Like God King is forcing out his movements, and he is #1 in terms of net worth on the map. It's just coming out of a severe cost on the super course. You do see SAG smoke up though. They want to keep to apply that pressure.
They're going to try on to Flywood. Flywood, it is nighttime, which makes it very hard for them to make this chase, but perhaps with Drilling Coil it may be enough. Flywood doesn't get caught out. Silence there as well. He'll just immediately break the coil. OP got Rolling Thunder does connect once. Now God King will pop his drums and try to make the chase here onto Flywood. And eventually he should die. He did slowly have some help coming in, but they don't commit. Cooper just sits back on the Venge and Monet thinks better of it. He still has an Ethereal Blade to farm up on that Morphling, so probably best he doesn't get involved, but he's going to try the God King. There are a lot of heroes around, and hey, have you gone too far? You may have. That Spirit Vessel's making it hard for him to strength morph, but he does. September, Inkswell out from the Grimstrike will stun him up, and now another stun coming out from Monet. Swung in, God King falling very, very low. He has no target. He will go down. Now Setsu will also go down. Rather get OP God and Flywood. Gonna go after DD on this Bristleback. Again, it's the one target they just continue to leave. And this is finally the chance to go after this Bristleback. It will slowly but surely chip away at that HP. DD does go down.
And they did find a big kill at SSG at the start. I think getting that first Flywind kill was massive. It's just they bleed out too much in the end. They lose out in their own biggest core in the form of God King. So RNG, that's a very favorable trade for them. This is all while Monet doesn't have the E-Blade. You know, he doesn't even have this big tool. You're seeing a slight edge towards God King's own presence on his hero. You have to factor in once burst items up. These fights are going to go a lot cleaner for RNG if you're not careful.
Setsu's got a BKB up now. Like it becomes that much harder, and he just jumps in straight onto OP Con. Won't have quite enough damage yet with that Orchid, so he will be able to swash away in. Now the Rolling Thunder back into Setsu to simulate. It's going to be enough to dissuade from chasing.
Surprise!
At least I guess OP God survives through that.
Precious bounty.
Yeah, it's a decent tier to save. It just bails itself out. Rather unfortunate that you didn't have an additional charge in that step. Would have been a guaranteed kill if you did have that. Nonetheless, they up once more, they smoke up, they continue to play lots of an RNG Zen.
Setsu gets a haste rune as well. DD, they sprint for that top lane. They're going to run into more than just that. OP gone just around. In fact, no, they go for a swap on the God King. They found the TB.
Oh no.
That's usually the one guy you can never catch out, and now in that mid lane, looks like they also find the Shadow Demon, so Red Panda will also end up dying.
Don't waste my time.
And Setsu is 9-0 right now on this Void Spirit, just having a game of his life here up against SAG. They clear out the tier 2, and they're actually going to start chipping away in that tier 3. Huh? Straight to the high ground.
Why not? I mean, if the objective is to not allow God King to farm, this is the way you do it. You just take everything off the map. They've got an AK advantage, and I mean, this Bristleback AD, he's a non-factor. He's even bought the Voodoo Mask. It just doesn't help. I think they're too far behind to really do too much.
I mean, this gives him a lot more tankiness in front. Like, the lifesteal on Cold Spray is nice. That is like a talent for him. That's a level 20 talent item for the Bristleback. So in that sense, it's valid. It's just he's not tanky enough to really maximize that, and that is a bit of a risk. Still, SH woke up. They want to try to make something here.
Will. Clearly a bit of despotism, though. Setsu to simulate. He'll be fine to just astral step out. Now the Dream Coil there, but it only caught out Super, and the crippling fear is going to make it harder. But they're just trying to disengage. RNG, they just want to back out. Seemingly very uninterested in finding this Terrorblade from that Metamorphosis.
it's a nice pull-out. I mean, you still have a lot of damage that does fly out of God King when he does pop that mana, so cut your losses. You don't have a shotgun just yet. I think they're really just waiting out for that item to be up first before they start committing once more. Still, this does buy enough time for OP to finish up his blink on the Pangolier. So you're getting more mobility in this turn. Should allow FAG to try to engage a bit better here.
That's
Why did you make
mid lane.
of me? I
Get
have
Rip
no
Panda on the
reason
Shadow
to
Demon.
Notice you.
God King? That's not the place to farm. Your Shadow Demon just died there. God King. If the Remnant gonna latch onto DD, that is so much damage coming out with that Ink Portrait.
Oh man, that's a really early pickup from September onto the Ags. He just rushed it, but it's paying off. Like, they've got a lot more presence here. They build up their lead to 11k, and SAG, they're slipping up a bit. They're exposing themselves when they shouldn't be. God King is just not farming fast enough on a hero it should be bigger on, but simply isn't.
They're gonna go after the Roshan. It won't be that long of a Roshan either. They just have so much damage through the Monet and Setsu. That won't even Pharaoh, it's gonna be that much faster. And now that shotgun is up, and just one person's been deleted from the team fight before it even starts, and they'll soak up. He's even got the Nether Shard to really add on that bonus spell damage. And SAG look to try and back off now. They're gonna... Oh, God King on again. Mid lane getting caught out there with the swap of Super.
Guides my
Oh my. And that's it. They just call it. They've had enough. GG. And he just disconnects.
That is a far cry from how their games went beyond Epic, but RNG, it looks like they learned from that experience. They found the answer to SAG, and they managed to turn this into a 2-1 victory. So props to RNG for managing to figure